This is your friendly spoiler alert from Marvel and Makeup. MCU spoilers ahead.
Welcome to Marvel Makeup. I'm Quincy.
And I'm Kay, and this is a podcast where I teach Quincy a little bit about Marvel.
And I teach Kay a little bit about makeup.
Major MCU spoilers alert ahead.
There are spoilers. Yay.
And today we have a great guest. She's an actress and improviser. You can see her work in Black Monday and Adam Ruins Everything. And she is also co-host of the Korean Drama Podcast, which is part of the Potluck Podcast Collective, and performs with improv team Voltron Voltron at Asian AF once a month on YouTube.
Yay. And in non-pandemic times, she improvises with me, Kay, and the rest of our brothers on the best and most chaotic improv team on the
Quincy did not read the copy before this.
Number one son. We're so excited to have her. Please welcome Kim Cooper.
Hey,
wow,
Kim.
what a
Yay.
welcome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Quincy, what a delight to watch you read that for the first time.
Well, okay, the
It's
first
in
part,
there.
the first part, I was losing my mind because was Black Monday the thing that you did the 80s thing for?
Yeah.
The big hair. Yeah.
Did you tell us it was Black Monday?
Yeah, I think so.
say- Okay, I don't remember. I just
I don't
remember.
remember.
I don't know if you did because I just saw Black Monday 2 weeks ago, like last month, and I'm obsessed with that show.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with I've only seen the pilot because I want to rewatch the pilot. So now I'll get to look
If you
for
keep,
you.
if you keep
Yeah.
watching,
She pops up. Yeah. Cool.
Hey.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kim. Today we are talking about the Avengers on the Marvel side of the podcast, which we all watched before we started this. And so, Avengers came out on May 4th, 2012. Off the top, any hot takes on Avengers from you, Kim?
I mean, it was definitely interesting. I actually didn't know if I had seen Avengers because I've seen a handful of MCU movies. So I've seen like Thor. This is just a few off the top of my head. I've seen Thor Ragnarok. I saw Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
Okay, the last
so
one.
I'm familiar with like the Avengers and like with the characters a little bit, but it was interesting to see them all in this first movie and see the ways that like the first movie is similar to, you know, the later movies, and then like how the characters all came together and like that kind of thing. So
Cool. And in terms of like Marvel, the wider Marvel universe, or just comic books in general, what's your relationship with all of it? Are you like, you probably lean more towards the Quincy side of like, it's out there and I'm aware of it, versus like, I know all of the things.
I certainly don't know all of the things. I have seen a few of the movies. I haven't watched any of the shows. I'm very like, I know that people are really into WandaVision. I haven't seen that
WandaVision.
yet.
Yes.
But you know, we gotta support Randall and like, you know, our representation on screen.
He is great in WandaVision. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. And so yeah, I would definitely say I'm more on the side of like, I'll watch it. Usually I'll go in a non-pandemic time to see whatever movie is out with John. And that was also something that's interesting is like, I haven't really watched these big action movies at home so much. So it definitely, like, I was like, I think I would get way more out of this experience in the theater.
I've done the same thing.
Yeah. Also because I watched it just earlier today when it was daytime.
Same.
So it was like bright in my apartment, in my house. And like, it was like some of the scenes I straight up couldn't see anything because the screen, like the lighting was so dark, and I was sorry, I'm got really close to my mic. The lighting was so dark, and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I thought the same thing. There were some fight scenes where you're just like, you just see hair whipping, and you're like, okay, I guess someone's getting decked right now. I don't know.
Yeah. And even at the very, not to jump ahead, not to spoil it, but in the post-credits scene also, I had to rewind it and rewatch it to figure out who the reveal was.
Yes.
so dark, and I was like, you can't fucking see any of it.
True. I do think that is interesting, because when you do watch all of these movies and you have scenes like that, you're just like, oh, the fact that the people who make them are like so focused on what they're seeing and making it as specific as possible, but they are doing it for very specific situations and context, like in a dark theater and in that kind of like environment. So when you're watching it at home on Disney Plus or streaming, you know, you gotta maybe play with the lights so you can get like the, you know, biggest effect of everything.
Yeah. I'm the opposite of Kim, by the way, though. This was the only movie I knew for certain I had watched.
Oh, okay.
In the MCU.
I thought Iron Man was the only one you thought you knew you had watched.
Well, that was like in terms of like Iron Man, I think because it was like the first, I didn't like count. But then as we were talking about like, oh, this MCU, I was like, okay, for sure. Like once this, you know, Marvel took off, I was like, okay, besides Iron Man, because I don't think we knew it was going to be MCU when Iron Man came out, right? So I knew that the Avengers was the only one I had watched for sure.
Okay, interesting. Well, another thing about Avengers, it is the final film of Phase 1. As we move forward, we'll be moving forward into Phase 2, which, you know, they did mention a lot, and we'll get to that. But just to reiterate, it came out, released in theaters May 4th, 2012, directed by Joss Whedon, who is a creator of many different properties. It has been reported recently that he has a history of problematic behavior, so we just wanted to mention that in the sense that, you know, we do not believe that inappropriate behavior has a place in this industry. But as we move forward in this podcast, we are going to be focusing on the work and the collaborative effort made to create Avengers, the film, which, you know, it truly is a collaborative effort, considering it is a movie about a team of superheroes that we have gotten to know over 6 films. This is the 6th film in Phase 1. Yeah.
Oh, in Phase 1. I thought you meant the 6th Avengers film, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, no. This is the first Avengers film, but the 6th film in the MCU. We've watched Thor, or we watched Iron Man, we've watched Thor, we've watched Iron Man 2, we've watched Captain America, First Avenger, and the Hulk. So
you forgot the Hulk again.
I did forget the Hulk again.
Hey,
yeah.
He's gonna be upset.
That's the one I've seen the least, so that's why I usually tend to forget it.
Also my favorite so far.
Yeah, so far Quincy's favorite, which is so interesting. And so a couple things just to mention that happened in 2012. 50 Shades of Grey, the book, came out and had its whole moment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Did any of you guys have your moms, you know, jump on that wagon? I had a couple aunts that were like, I'm into this.
My mom, I think the only movie she's watched that's American is Titanic.
And you know what? That is a good one to watch, Mama Cho.
True.
She's always like, I'm not going to go. I do not understand. I'm going to fall asleep.
And also, you know, romance related. So very similar. 50 Shades, Titanic, all in the same realm. A couple other things that were popular that year. The word YOLO, the song Gangnam Style, the Hunger Games movie started that year, and Barack Obama got reelected. Also, it was re-election. Ooh. That was great. And then for me, a memorable thing was the London Summer Olympics gave us the Fierce Five, were the 5 young women who won the team gold medal in gymnastics, and it also created that meme. Well, the 5, I think they have to be announced, was Gabby Douglas, Allie Raceman, Kyla Ross, Jordan Weber, and Michaela Maroney. Do you guys remember the meme that came? Yep. This thing.
My memory is so bad.
No.
Oh my gosh. It was huge, Quincy.
It was huge. It was a picture of her being like super unimpressed, and everyone just like took that picture and put it everywhere. It was her.
Yeah,
like
I think that she had like gotten silver or something like that.
Yeah, one of the individual.
A huge accomplishment.
But not gold.
I mean, I understand. I would I would be disappointed too if I was
so close. But on the silver lining is that we got the meme.
Hey,
the silver.
You know what?
Mm-hmm. Got the Michaela meme. So
got the meme.
Yeah. So that was just a few things that came out this year that Avengers also came out. But let's go ahead and just dive into the movie. To be perfectly honest, this is one of my favorite MCU movies.
Interesting. Why?
Because it kind of established the whole superhero team genre for me. Like I had seen like the X-Men movies and seen like how they did it, but the fact that they were able to introduce so many elements along the way and it came together so cohesively, I was just like, I was on board. And one of my favorite video games is Lego Marvel's Avengers, which is pretty much the Avengers but in a Lego video game. And it's so fun because you're playing a Lego version of an Avenger. You're pretty much playing the Lego version of the movie.
Avengers are Legos.
Yeah, they're Legos. And the video game. And and you get to run around pretty much all the scenes of the Avengers movies and kind of like live through the action. And that opening vamp of like dun it, the Avengers theme, like I've heard that so many times, and after a while it got old, but I've come around to like now when I do hear it, I'm just like, oh, I feel so strong. I feel so strong.
Oh, that's so nice.
So that's how it opens. With the vamp, they're at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. You have so many characters being introduced right away. You got Phil Coulson. You got Hill, Miranda Hill. I think that's her name. Nick Fury. Maria Hill.
That was her. Wasn't she like in the height of How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe
played by Kobe Smulders.
Yeah. She was great in it. I remember watching this movie the first time and being like, And then I think this time around, I liked it a lot more, actually.
Do you think it's because you knew the background of the characters from the previous films?
I appreciated it a little bit more. I will say it felt long, but I think it was because I was watching it at home.
Okay.
Not the same, Kim. I watched it earlier today and I like took a 10-minute nap to like take a break. I like turned on the subtitles to be like, I need to know how to say Tesseract. I can't go on this podcast.
Yeah.
Pterodect.
Oh, that's so funny.
Tesseract, yes, it is a very specific word, Tesseract. And it's spacey. It's known. It's known as the Space Stone. I might be getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh yeah, did you guys I don't want to jump ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just about the Tesseract, did you guys watch Raya yet?
No, not yet.
I did. Yes.
You did?
I was gonna wait till share part to.
Oh, okay. I won't.
But I can see how it can be related.
No, it's like blue stone.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It like looks
very.
I thought it looked very similar. I don't want to spoil anything for Quincy or, but
I'm watching it later this week.
Cool.
Was it good? Did you guys cry?
I cried near the end.
Very sweet.
Okay, I can't wait to sob my eyes out.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do a sob fest and do Minari and Raya back to back.
Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen Minari yet, that's also
that's one I need to see.
That would really be a sob fest.
Okay, done.
Watching those back to back.
Done. I'm gonna do that.
Oh my god!
Get your tissues.
Oh. Okay.
Well, once you guys are done watching those, I'm trying to find a segue back to Avengers. Yeah.
Pause this and go watch
that.
We're pinning this.
But now that you're back, welcome back. That's in those early scenes. Also, is where they start mentioning Phase 2. Now, do you guys have any idea?
Oh my God! Wait, is them saying Phase 2 about also the movie Phase 2?
Yes.
Wow.
The phase that we're moving into.
What?
Is they were planting seeds for what's going to happen in the movies that we're moving into. That's known as Phase 2.
Also Phase 2.
Yes.
So wild. I did not make that connection at all. I was just like, they're talking about their work shit. I don't know. Like they all
talking about their work shit.
They seem like they've got a lot going on work-wise here.
I literally thought it was like Phase 2 of the Oh my God.
I mean, but it is like they're talking about phase 2 story wise and all the things that they're preparing for. They were like making weapons and keeping secrets. And that's stuff that's going to be explored even more in phase 2, which is a whole nother 6 movies.
Wow. And what's the movie that came out immediately after this?
Immediately after this was Iron Man 3. Which,
man, they really like top heavy with the Iron Man, huh?
Well, he was the first one, so they're just like, going back to his story a lot.
Okay. Question about Iron Man. Is his whole thing, I feel like I've heard from like, just being a citizen of this world, but like not paying attention to MCU.
Citizen take. Okay, got it.
Citizen take is like the general feeling about Iron Man the same kind of like as Batman, like, oh, he's just a rich dude and he's not really. Okay. I thought in this movie, I was like, he's essentially like a mechanical engineer, right? If we're going to just like really generalize what he does. I'm like, he's a mechanical engineer and he built a suit and he can fly. I was like, that's superhero level shit to me. Cause it's like,
absolutely.
And so I don't know why people are just like, oh, he's just a rich. I was like, he built that stuff.
If anything, that's like way more elaborate than some of the, I mean, I don't know all of their backstories, but like, Spider-Man, for example, got bit by a radioactive spider. That's requires a lot less mathematics, to work that out.
True. I mean,
sorry, go ahead, Kay.
Well, Peter Parker is supposed to be also be kind of smart, similar to Tony. Like, he's smart and he's knows technology well, but in the sense of like how he got his powers per se, it was very accidental, an accidental spider incident.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my question about Iron Man is I didn't realize, or maybe I did, because I know that at some point in life I have seen an Iron Man movie and I don't know which one it was, but and I don't remember anything about it. But I didn't realize that he had a thing like embedded in his chest. I thought the whole thing was just suit, but he has something like embedded in his chest, right?
Wait, Kay, I got this.
Go ahead, Quincy. Go ahead.
I learned I don't know the exact, I don't know the thingy, but it's like it prevents shrapnel from going into his heart and killing him.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's correct.
Wow.
Which he got when he got in the first movie, the first Iron Man movie, he gets blown up. And then that's how he survives. They create that mechanism that keeps.
Okay.
But then also he realizes that he could use it to power the suit. So
got it.
That's kind of, that's his story. And Quincy, you remember that. Yay.
Amazing. Wow.
Yes.
I'm so happy I was here to witness that.
Yay.
A great way to wrap show that if you watch 6 movies in a row, you'll actually maintain information about the universe. So just to keep going, it's the Avengers. We're creating our team. We see the scene with Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Setting up her character, which we've met before in previous movies. But if you're new to the MCU, this might be the first scene you've seen her in. Classic femme fatale, spy behavior. And then we move on to the Hulk, the Mark Ruffalo version. The Hulk was played by Ed Norton in the original movie. And this is his first appearance as, in the movie as played by Mark Ruffalo. And then, keep going with Captain America and the punching bag scene and Jarvis, Tony talking to Jarvis and him creating the Stark Tower with Pepper Potts being there and then Coulson showing up again. All of these really great intros into these characters. Kim coming as someone who was coming into this and not really knowing or remembering movies before that. How did you feel? Are you like, I know what's happening, or who is this person? Were you confused at all? I wonder about that.
my mouth. I wasn't really confused because I had seen other Avengers movies, so I've seen I've seen these people in this like configuration before, right? Like I have seen far fewer of the movies. They're like spin-off movies, and I have seen far fewer of the TV shows and like all of that stuff. My partner John and I were having a conversation the other night because there's that new show that is Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie show.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yes.
Right. And so I got really confused because I was like, didn't Anthony Mackie become the Captain America? And also I thought that Bucky Barnes was
wait, is this spoilers?
This is a spoiler, yeah.
Oh wait, sorry.
I just pulled off my headphones.
We're kind of trying to tread a spoiler line with Quincy somehow. This is one of the things.
Yeah. Oh wait, so sorry.
Well, just because we're watching this all in order for me, so I have to wait for WandaVision, even though I keep hearing.
Right. I'm so sorry.
The Bucky Barnes thing is.
I'm probably gonna forget anyways. Though.
Well, I mean, with the Bucky Barnes thing, I wasn't going to say anything spoilery about that, although I do know some of the Bucky Barnes backstory. But I thought I had like conflated that character and the Falcon in my mind, and I was like, "What?" And then anyway, I don't remember why I started telling that story. But
keeping track of all the introduction of
there are so many characters, and something that I noticed in watching this movie that I don't know if I've noticed when like we watch it in the theater so much, but seeing Gwyneth Paltrow for some reason really took me out of it. Like,
oh really?
Because all of these,
the goop got to you.
Yeah, the goop got to me, I guess. Like because all the actors are already very famous when they make these movies. Like none of the actors that exist in the Avengers in this movie, this was like their first movie or their big break or whatever. True. And I think that's very. But like the thing is like. It's not like I've seen a lot. I can't think of one movie I've seen that Gwyneth Paltrow is in, but she is just such a like a well-known presence. And like, I guess I do know the rest of those actors, just like as their Marvel characters. So it's easier, like willful suspension of disbelief, right? Like that. I'm like, oh yeah, Chris Evans is Captain America. That's just what that guy does or whatever. But it's like, Gwyneth Paltrow, that's the Jade Egg lady. Like, what's she doing? So
you expected her. You're just like, is she gonna pull out some stones at some point?
Like,
some
sorry,
crystals?
She's trying to sell us something?
It's so funny.
You're just like, who's gonna bring me lotions right now? Or no?
Yeah, it was very. That was really the only thing though. Because I think though that it is because I've seen more of the
Avenger movies.
Yeah, like I've also seen like Thor Ragnarok, but
right.
So I guess that is also like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the guy from that movie. But like, I haven't seen Hulk. I haven't seen Captain America. I haven't seen,
But when they showed up, you were just like, you kind of did it like fill in any like information or flesh out the character for you and versus like the experience you had before?
Yeah. Well, to like move a little bit forward in this plot, when Loki shows up, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know if this is the first time that he's showing up in the MCU up to this point.
No, there was the Thor movie about two before. Right. Yeah. And
okay,
so he's in that. Yeah,
of course he's in that. Yeah, but like even just seeing him in this movie, I was like, oh, okay, he's like continually been like, he's always been a villain. He's always been this like kind of like. It's funny because I think Loki is like such a like I'm like feel bad for him in a way, not because I think he's like a good person or anything, but I'm just
Caitlin
like, man.
Does.
Yeah, Caitlin likes Loki.
Caitlin thinks Loki has every right to be upset.
Oh man, I mean, I don't think I'd go that far. Maybe I just don't know Loki as well as Caitlin does. I do feel bad for him because I'm like, he's not even doing it to service like himself in the end. Like he is still a pawn he's just like a pawn for the bad guys instead of a pawn for the good guys. And
true.
I really feel for him in that way. I'm just like. I wonder
if
you outcast.
I mean, I wonder if because he does have this dark backstory that they do explore in the first Thor, and kind of like, how the fact that he's like actually the adopted son of Odin, and he's not actually Asgardian, he's a different race.
I don't know if I like 100% buy that backstory with him as like the reason why. Yeah, because they say, I guess we don't see him again, I think we talked about it, like he's adopted. Yes, he's a different race. He talks about in this one more like he was in his brother's shadow. But I was like, I don't know. Maybe did we talk about this? It's an ego thing. I'm like,
oh yeah. I mean, yeah. He's a god who thinks he is entitled to a kingship that he had to compete against Thor for. So that's going to build a huge ego. I mean, that's I think a huge part of his character. Honestly, like to me. Speaking of like characters that were actors that are well known, I feel like Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston were kind of they weren't as well known when they started these parts. And for me, like I feel like Tom Hiddleston was coming into his own in this movie with the Loki character.
He was hot.
He was hot in that opera scene. Like he's like going after that guy's eyeballs, just like, dang.
Oh my gosh, that was so alarming. I didn't know what he was doing, and then I was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool technology that you guys have. But I will say about Loki, like, I'm adopted. I'm a different race from my family, and I haven't attempted to subjugate an entire planet.
That's what I mean.
So I don't think that's like, I don't buy that.
That's what I mean. I don't buy that. Like, I don't buy that, that motivation of like, oh, that's why he's upset. Like,
I mean, it's not the only reason, but like, it's part of it. But
because he still is a god or a demigod, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, you're just mad because people don't like you. Like it seems like people like Thor and
they like Thor better. Yeah.
No,
he was
maybe your personality's bad.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like they do cut into that in that scene with him and Thor when Thor finally comes down and grabs him out of the plane, and then they have that back and forth.
I laughed so hard when Thor shows up because I was like, "Uh-oh, you're in trouble, and your big brother came to
trouble
whoop
now.
Your ass, and you are in trouble.
You're in trouble now."
Well, the thing is, though, like Loki the whole time did have his plan, which because he had Hawkeye kind of on his side through the first part of the film, he actually was a pretty strong villain against them. I just feel like Loki, the introduction of him and Thor was like needed because it was like him, but his appearance in this movie kind of is even building even stronger his foundation for his arc throughout the rest of the movies, and he even has his own show coming out on Disney Plus later this year. So
I saw the trailer for it,
and you really liked it, right?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool, the trailer for the show.
So I don't know how Thor came to the Earth, because isn't in the last movie they broke it, and that was his whole
they broke the Bifrost. They skim over
Natalie Portland.
Natalie Portman. Yes. Well, they skim over it a little bit. He says like how much dark magic that they have to summon to get you here. So the idea is like they weren't using the Bifrost anymore because it was broken, but they've started exploring like dark magic ways to allow them to go back and forth. I like that about I like that I didn't notice that so much before in the other movies I watched. Obviously, like now I'm like, oh, that makes sense, but maybe it's because there's parallels that I can draw here between this movie and a D&D campaign that I play. Yep. But like the element of magic being involved is like, of course it's magic because like the superheroes like got their powers from somewhere, right? It's not from, except for Tony, who created them out of thin air. But everybody else got their powers from like some sort of a magical or radioactive or something. Yes. It's stuff like the Tesseract, which is part of the kind of like the magical element that involves with kind of like the larger universe, which they actually, it gets deep as you go along. And, as you know, in the later Avengers movies, they're kind of the main things that allow, that Thanos is on his way to, that he's searching for and trying to collect in order to do his plan. But that's so way down the line. Yeah. But, just to talk a little bit more about the little seeds that were here in this movie, that fight between Thor and Tony and Cap in the forest, where it ends, and it's like Cap with his shield, and it kind of ending it because it created that big explosion. His shield, just to remind you, is made of vibranium, so that's an element that is going to come back, and you see kind of like they're kind of planning how strong that material is. I love how Captain, he was such a man out of time, and they had that joke where he mentions, Nick Fury says, he turned my agent into a flying monkey, and then Captain America's just like, I know that reference.
I laughed at that scene too because it was such a nerd boys who are cool now versus jock moment, and then you just have the two jocks being like, what? And then the two nerd boys go off and they're like geeking out over stuff.
Yeah, it's like we're the science kids and we're the cool ones now, and then you have like the big bulky jockey type guys being like, what's going on? Yeah. So I thought that was really fun, and then how kind of like Hawkeye just made such a really great villain, even though everyone kind of like poo-poos Hawkeye because they're just it's a dude with a cross and barrel.
I'm citizen take. I am very aware of this too. People being like, Hawkeye. I'm like, yo, he is 100% accuracy over there with like shit flying around. Like, I miss doorways by myself.
What's the poo-poo that people do on Hawkeye?
Well, because he just shoots an arrow.
Yeah, kind of like out of all the original Avengers, they feel like he's kind of like the weakest link because he's just like a spy with a bow and arrow, and like everyone else has guns and big ass weapons.
I hate that take. I hate that so much. I was talking to John about this because John really likes the Marvel movies, and he's seen
all of them
probably. But I was like, it is so impressive because he has such accuracy as opposed to like jumping ahead to the end of the movie where like Black Widow is just like shooting. It just looks like she's shooting like in the air because there are so many of these like weird alien things coming at her. Completely understood. Like I would also just be swinging blindly trying to like get all these people out of here. But like he has to be so accurate. Like, so that's like, what a skill. That's so impressive. Like I think
he got the arrow from that moving ship into that other ship and then shut the whole, like he had to have like precision
into that little hole.
Yeah, and eyesight has to be real good.
My eyesight's, I'm blind.
I know this man is not wearing contact lenses. Okay, he would need to be out here. He's had LASIK done.
Or just that's natural 20/20 maybe even.
Oh my god, I wouldn't know what that's like personally, but
me neither. Contact.
Me neither.
Yeah. So, well, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like this time around, I was like, wow, if it hadn't been for Hawkeye, like Loki's plan would have not gone as well. Like he really lucked out that he was like first guy I was able to mind control was Hawkeye.
Can you imagine if it was Tony Stark? Like it'd just be a different movie.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he had the thing. He tried. Remember at that point?
That's right.
But because of the arc reactor
implant thing,
he couldn't. It's called the arc reactor.
Arc reactor. Okay.
Yeah. It's the name of the equipment.
This movie in particular, I also felt like we could have had a drinking game. The amount of times they said "suit up."
Oh,
just like they kept being like, "Suit up."
Yeah.
Suit up. Hey, I don't have a suit.
Do you have a suit? If you do, suit up.
Suit up.
No, that's what Captain America says at some point. I don't remember which.
I was like, they had 7 times, and I don't know if it has to do with How I Met Your Mother and Barney being like, "Suit up."
Oh,
but it was just like suit up
about that.
The whole thing.
That's a funny connection.
Yeah, it'd be funny if they did that as a little wink to How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, suit up. Like that to the camera every time. Yeah, and then we end up in that big battle against the Chitauri and all those aliens coming through the portal. It honestly, for me, one of my favorite action scenes of all time is the kind of like that sequential kind of like handoff where you see like Tony flying, and then like he's shooting this guy, and then he lands and he shoots off of Cap's shield, and that laser kind of kills people, and he flies over again, and you see Hulk come through, and you see them like fighting their own little battles, but then small little team ups here and there.
Oh, you know what I remember thinking? I was like, where's Don Cheadle during all this?
He's not there yet.
War Machine.
Yeah.
Okay. He's busy.
Right? That's what he's called.
War Machine?
Yes. War Machine.
Oh, is that a spoiler?
Well, he'll show up in the next one since we are watching Iron Man 3. But yeah, he hasn't jumped into battles with them yet. He just showed up in that one for the one time in the last movie, Iron Man 2. But he does show up. He does get in there in these later movies.
And Coulson dying, by the way. Coulson dying.
Coulson dying.
I know we talked about this. I remember when I was like, I don't get the big deal. I watched it and I was like, oh no, the way he dies is so sad, because he genuinely was like, I got you, bad guy. And then it was so sad, I cried.
Oh, did you cry?
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like we were just getting to know you. Like, you had a girlfriend in Portland you wanted to visit. Like, we don't get another movie with you? Like...
He did. Yes. And, he plays such a big part because, like he says, they needed the push. They need something to... And then, Avenge, which is the name of the movie. Doesn't say it outright, but that's what,
Okay. You did a better Mad Libs film than I did.
But I cried too when I first saw it. Like, I've seen this movie so many times, I don't cry anymore. But I cried when I originally did. And I will say, I saw it in the theater, and some girl who was sitting right in front of me, like, I don't know who she was, but she laughed at that moment. And I remember sitting up in my chair and being like, what? Like, I was like, what?
With you?
And then she looked at me weird. So yeah,
a sociopath.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
My
So
God.
I was very much affected. And here's the thing though, like Coulson, he became such a beloved character. People loved him so much. They started a hashtag called Coulson Lives, and that became the premise of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is yes.
Okay, Kate, really quick, because you were asking before if about like the introductions of all these characters and stuff, and I did not know. I guess I knew theoretically that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is part of the MCU, but I didn't like understand the connection. And then when Fury, right? That's his name.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. When he's like talking about like shield, I was like, oh, that's the Shield.
Yes. That's the organization that becomes the premise of the show. And since people loved, Coulson so much, they literally bring him back.
What does Shield stand for?
It's
superheroes.
No, it's
excellence leading darkness sideways.
I may be wrong, but I believe it's Strategic Homeland Intelligence, something with an E, Logistics Division. Yeah. Wow. It is actually one of the first jokes in the pilot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is something about like, do you know what S.H.I.E.L.D. stands for? And then the other guy says it, and he's like, well, what does that mean to you? And then the guy says, someone really wanted the letters to spell out S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's funny
because it is a clunky acronym. Yeah.
But that's cool that because I was wondering, I was like, this seems crazy that this guy just dies. Like, they have so much technology and I was like, no, what? This guy's just gonna die? I mean, and I hadn't seen any movies previous to this that I remember, at least. And I was just like, this is like, it seemed wild that he died.
Well, I mean, and they did mean for him to die, but again, it was the fandom that came together and kind of like pushed for him to come back. So,
and good on that actor, because
Clark Gregg.
This doesn't work for Clark,
No,
I like that.
Yeah, he is a icon now in Marvel fandom, because he also kind of represents kind of like the every guy, you know, like the normal person who just wants to like do their part to, you know, serve the greater good, even though we don't have, you know, powers. He wanted to be hero in his own way.
He like delivered that line. He was just like, yeah, we're going to get you with this gun. It was like so innocent and so naive. And he was like, I'm going to get this demigod with this gun I don't know how to use. And I'm holding like a Nerf gun. And then...
Oh yeah, and then
he does like still like use it on Loki right before he dies. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
you need like some of your last energy to blast this guy into the next dimension. Like that's pretty tight.
Yep, to the end of the first time he, you know, was doing his part. And so you have that epic scene, but you know, and they end up, you know, shutting down the portal and winning. One of my favorite parts is like the Hulk, when he actually grabs Loki and he just like throws him around a little bit, and he's like, puny god. Like that was I remember in the theater that getting a big laugh.
I also noticed that Hulk looked like Mark Ruffalo in this one versus in the other one. Hulk just looked like Hulk.
That's when they started using like the facial motion capture type stuff. As you move along, like you'll see more of the actor Mark Ruffalo in the actual CGI
here's the
character.
thing I wanted to ask about that. In this one, so he comes back as Hulk and is like in control, and I was like, is that what they're trying to say with Mark Ruffalo with his character, is that he has to choose to be the Hulk in order to be in control of what's happening to him, versus every other time it's been a fight because it's not a choice?
Yeah, I feel like it's something that they're fighting constantly over power for, like who's in control. And in that moment, like actually that's a moment that I still tear up on, where he says, you know what my secret is? I'm always angry, and he just transforms. Like to me, that's always been, I don't know why, but that always gets me like every time. And I feel like in that moment, he's like choosing to let go of control so the Hulk can come out and like, you know, help them out and use his power. But you know, so like epic fight. Everyone has their own really great moments.
Can I say one more thing about the Hulk before we move forward?
Sure.
I thought it was really cool because I don't know. I read a little bit online afterwards that this is part of the Hulk / Bruce Banner storyline in the comic books, that like that Bruce Banner like shoots himself to try to die, and he is not successful in that. And I just thought that was such a really cool and unique moment, because so oftentimes I feel like in our society, like that kind of thing is talked about as like a very weak moment in people's lives, and to see that that be, for him to talk about that openly, and to like also have that kind of be like, it wasn't like poor this guy, you know, like I feel like
it wasn't like a moment of like pity for him. It was but see, this is I think why I like the Hulk so much, is because he has to deal with his humanity like, every day. And it's like, and I realized too, when they were like talking about their problems with the arc reactor and stuff, like all these guys have issues, but like I feel like he has to deal with it in a very palpable way, because he can't control it. Like
right.
He has I agree with you, Kim. Like he has
it was very powerful, I thought, to have like that kind of depression and like
vulnerability
like that. Like vulnerability. It was really powerful, I thought.
He even says it in that scene, which I think is always a really awesome line. He says to Tony, like, you chose like your situation. I'm exposed like a nerd.
Yes.
I was like,
that's so true. He is.
A great moment to just like that's the character.
I think that's why I like him, because he has to deal with it, and he can't hide it behind anything. He has to deal with it, and then the damage repercussions are so heavy for him because he's it's not something he intended to do. So
exactly.
What do you do when you've done this thing that you didn't?
I'm so excited for you, Quincy, because there is so much that comes for the Hulk, comes in the future of the Hulk, and about how he struggles with that, and like him trying to love it. It's gonna be so good. But yeah, so epic battle. Tony lays himself on the line, but he still is able to survive by the end. And then we get a great hero montage at the end of everybody. Some people skeptical, mostly people being appreciated. That's where we got our Stan Lee cameo, where he says superheroes in New York. Yeah. So yeah, and then this movie we get 2 post-credit scenes.
What?
Wait,
did you not see them? Not well, one kind of middle credits. Did you see that one? The middle credits.
Wait,
they're in space.
When Thanos comes out?
Yeah,
I only
that
saw the
one.
one with Thanos.
Same.
There's one at the very end.
Wait. No.
I can't be expected to see this.
Wait, time out. I rewinded to the end.
Fast forward all the way to the end. After the end credits, where like all
we see Thanos.
all the last Thanos, and then you keep going through all the rest of the credits.
More credits.
Past the end where they say these are all the songs, and then all the past the labels, and one last scene. No.
Well, this is why I have to go to the movies with John, because John is like, we're always sitting there just in case, and to see
a post-credit scene. Yeah.
I'm about to flip this table. I thought I had
God. I did too. I was like, in the Marvel movies, there's always a post-credit scene, so they're not gonna pull one past me.
Well, there is another one at the very end of the movie, so feel free to go back and watch that. I just little spoiler, it doesn't like tease anything big, but it is a really nice fun scene, which is
cool.
A kind of a.
Is this the shawarma one?
Yes, it's that one. It's that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's a callback to.
I know we didn't talk about this last episode, but also last post credit was, I felt like just a trailer for this one. It wasn't really a post credit scene.
Which one was
Captain
that?
America?
Yes. He was punching the punching bags. Or was no?
What
was he punching the punching bags?
No,
I forget.
It was just a trailer. I was like, this is not.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was just a trailer for the next movie.
Maybe it was maybe it's the one you saw. Sometimes they do that on like these streaming versions. They'll put like a trailer for the next movie. But we watched Captain America last. Yeah, so the the credits for that was like him running out into New York. Remember? Do you remember that? No, he wakes up and they're just like,
Oh yes, that was the post credit. Oh, okay.
So.
They just cut it and added it to the end of the. Okay, yeah, that is the post.
I didn't watch the movie, but he gets frozen, right? Like that's how he survives over time.
Right,
he crashes his airplane into the Arctic. So
the plane doesn't go over the mainland and like drop a bunch of bombs. So that's how he ends up surviving all that time to be a part of the modern Avengers. And we've also, like Captain America, have made it to the end of Avengers and the end of phase 1, guys. We did it.
Wow, congratulations. That's a lot of movies for you guys to watch.
It is. But it's been fun so far.
It's very fun.
And then we're going to dive into phase 2. But for now, we're actually going to dive into our stretch and share.
We stretch and share in this podcast.
I read the email. Yes. I'm wearing my leggings.
So I believe I think you, Quincy, chose last time the stretch.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose this time. This time I want to choose just like maybe like face type stretches, like kind of like
good.
Like stretching out your face, depressurizing it a little bit.
You guys should have got I to help you do this. She knows she knows all the face stretches.
Oh yeah, we should have done this with because I does this, and we would have looked younger. Now
go ahead and share, Quincy.
What do I want to share? I want to share. My friend dropped off a bunch of mochi nuts. It's mochi donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, have you guys had them? Oh,
no.
Man. If you guys love donuts like me, oh man, in K-Town they're called mochi nuts, mochi donuts, and they're like, it's in a ring and it's like little balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a mochi filled donut, and it just
Wow.
I had one last month for the first time, and I was like, no, just take one. My friend was like, are you sure? I was like, yes. I took one, finished it in the car, and immediately craved another one for like the entire week because it's so good, because there's like chew, texture, it's sweet. Oh, I want another one. I had like 3 already.
Okay.
You know what? Good for you.
Yeah. If you got them, eat them. You know.
That's right.
So
You're gonna
that-
eat them all eventually. You know.
Yep.
So-
Yep.
Cool. Kim, would you like to share anything?
Share.
I mean, I guess like I was excited. I was excited because we're recording this the weekend that Raya and the Last Dragon came out, which is super exciting.
Yes.
And yeah, really such a fun movie. And Quincy, plug your ears.
Okay.
But
taking my-
hey, when Loki is walking around with the stick, this, whatever that thing's called, I was like, oh my god, it's just like the stick that they have in Raya.
Oh, wait, which
that the
queen
leader
has?
of the leader of
Fang has.
Yeah, leader of Fang. Yeah, she has. I was like, that's the same stick. You guys have the same stick. So it's a crossover. It's a Marvel. It's all Disney, right? Marvel Cinematic Universe crosses over into the Raya and the Last Dragon cinematic universe.
It's all related.
That's a free idea, Disney.
Yeah, there you go, Disney. There you go. Oh, I think we lost Quincy. Oh, and she's back. We're good. You're good.
The volume thing doesn't work on my thingy, so I
no.
lowered it, and so I could hear bits, and I was like, "Ooh, I can't."
Oh,
it's not a big. It's not
that big of a spoiler. No. Actually, just to harken back to that scene though in Avengers, that scepter actually is also very special as well. And in that scene, that's kind of the scene where they're all kind of arguing with each other, and I realized that like the specialness of the scepter kind of plays into and explains why they were at each other's throats in that scene. I don't know if you guys
the ring, like in Lord of the Ring, where it's like makes
I don't want to spoil too much for you, Quincy, but it I think once we come back to once it shows up again, I think I'll bring it up again so we can like analyze it. And the same on just to piggyback on Kim for my share. Yes, I watched Raya. I also watched. This is also kind of like a really big just opening for a lot of movies came out this weekend.
Oh, really?
The second coming back to America came out.
Yeah,
the
Coming
sequel.
to America. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the end of WandaVision. So just a lot of really great, strong, awesome female characters. Because in Coming Back to America too, Eddie Murphy has 3 daughters, and they are all like super badass. And it's
cool.
Their country is very kind of like a humorous version of Wakanda. So they're very kind of like regal, and the girls are just really fabulous. So along in the warrior princess kind of like trope that we're creating, it was really great to watch that, and also watch Raya and then watch WandaVision and be like, oh my gosh, women are so strong.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're great. And yeah, so that is our stretch and share. So now we're going to dive into the makeup side of the podcast. Today, what are we doing, Quincy?
We're doing blush and finishing powder because Kay has learned putting on primer, foundation, eyeliner, mascara, doing her brows, and we are going to finish her face.
Wow.
Just like we are finishing phase 1 of the MCU.
Oh, shit.
Boom, boom.
Damn, mic drop. Drop the mic. Don't actually drop your mics.
No.
Really bad for it, but
Yes.
That's tight.
Quick disclaimer, I only have foundation and primer on. I'm still working on doing the eyebrows and the eyes. I'm hoping near the end of phase 2, I'll be able to have all of those things on more on a regular basis. So quick sidebar, just to let you know, still just working on the foundation and doing the primer, the moisturizing, the primer, and the foundation on a consistent basis. But I am doing it. Even Jacob was just like, oh, it looks good. And I was like, yeah. And I remember the other day, like I had to get on a Zoom really fast because I didn't know I was gonna be on a Zoom that day. And I was able to do it really fast and it came out looking pretty good. So I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we're wearing a full face because I don't have foundation or primer or any of that. I don't own those things. Also,
but your skin looks so good.
Kim, I'm so jealous.
I have a filter on Zoom, you guys. I have a filter on. I have the touch up on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
I put on mascara and eyebrows for you guys, which I don't even do that when I have a show. I just throw on a big pair of glasses. So I was like, this is called Marvel and makeup. Okay, I need to like bring it a little bit. And I miraculously had blush and finishing powder because those are not. I used the finishing powder as a hair powder, which is not what it's intended for, but
you totally can.
It absorbs oil very well.
So is that finishing powder its main thing to absorb oil when you're done? Quincy?
Finishing powder, yes. Finishing powder is used to like blur and like smooth out any like, I don't like the word imperfections, but it's to give you that like soft looks. It's really great for when you take pictures, but because it's a translucent powder, you can also powder it into your hair to absorb oil. If you don't want to wash your hair, which I've done, which is great.
I think it works a lot better than dry shampoo does. Yeah, to be quite honest.
Okay, so should we do powder first or blush first?
Blush first. The finishing powder goes on last.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I have my blush brush.
I've had this brush, I think, since high school. I think that
should work. Really?
Yeah. Well, because also usually when I feel like I need to put color on my cheeks, I just like find a little lipstick and I just put a little.
Yes. Yeah. You can just dab it onto. You don't need a whole lot.
But I
just put a touch on too.
Anyway. So Quincy, you had texted saying I needed an angle brush as well, I had gotten an extra brush. So I'm going to show you what brushes I have and which one you should tell me which ones you think I should use. So I have this big one. Mm-hmm. I have this one. I think I've used this smaller one with my eyes. I wonder if that was like an angling brush. Mm-hmm. And then I have this one.
Oh, use that one.
Okay. Yeah. And then I have these two.
I think those. Oh, you could also use that one. Actually, use that one.
This smaller one.
Yeah, that looks good too.
Okay, use that for the blush or the
blush.
The blush. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I have this brush.
That's great.
And I have this, which is what I used to put the finishing powder.
Same. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. It's like a kabuki brush.
So for those listening, I'm doing like a shorter brush that has kind of like a poofy end, but it's slightly angled, almost like a little arc at the end. It's not just it's big.
A little poofy because I think we're going to try to like diffuse the product on our face, not like a pointed brush to like really pack in the color, if that makes sense.
It says powder on it.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's fluffy enough. Okay, so I looked some stuff up and there's 2 blush placements you can put it on your cheeks. Like if you look at Chrissy Teigen, she has really round cheeks, so you'll notice she'll really accentuate that. Getting the apples of your cheek will give you like a really youthful look, and this is all based on your face, or you can just kind of follow your cheekbone up here to get a more angled, chiseled look. So I'm going to do both, one on each side so you guys can see.
Okay.
And then from there you can decide which you like on your face.
So when you're looking for the apples, and I've heard this before, you squeeze your face and smile.
Yes.
And then it's where it pops out the most.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, right there. And then you don't want to apply the blush below because then it'll kind of create like a sagged look. So let me apply. I'm going to do a lot just so you can see.
So you're kind of just batting it on there.
Yeah, it's like, hold on. Tapping it on.
Tapping it on. Okay.
He always asks me how I'm doing things, and I'm always struggling to describe what I'm saying. I remember, what was the other one, Kay? When we were doing concealer, you were like, you're just brushing it on. And it was like,
you're just coloring
Just like,
your face.
oh yeah, she was like, you're just painting it on. And then
painting,
and then she was like doing like painting like a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to watching these because the only makeup I ever personally put on is mascara and eyebrows, and sometimes I'll wear eyeliner.
Yeah, but your skin's so good. Like I still have like
it's the filter.
discoloration.
It's the filter.
I've tapped this on, and sometimes
it looks so good.
Yeah, so this is a lot. Like this is more probably what I would do if I was like on stage for like a theater production. So you have to really see my face, but you can see how I got the apple of my face. This is a little bit going too close to my eye now, so I'm gonna just wipe it off. But see how it really captures the apple, and so it's just to give you like a youthful glow, right? Like you're flushed.
Okay. Yeah.
Makeup is.
I'll just have a couple of cocktails.
You can do that. By the way, apparently makeup historically is supposed to make you look like post-coital is the
Is that why the NARS blush is called Orgasm?
Yeah. This one is I don't know what it's called. Post-coital, because you're all flushed and glowing and like soft. Yeah, and I was like, oh, interesting.
This one I have is called Beach Rose, and honestly, I don't know where it came from.
Mine says blush.
Yeah.
Pink rose.
Pink rose. Then so that's the cheekbone. So this is this really makes me look younger because it's rounder, right? And then if I want to do my cheekbone, sometimes I'll make a
you're sucking in your cheeks like a fish face.
Fish face, right? And I'll here, like you'll see this is my cheekbone here. And I'll just kind of lightly dust it on.
So you're following, like if you do fish face and you have the line, it's following that line.
Do you see, Kay, where like your highlight, there's a highlight that's hitting the top of your cheekbone. Like you kind of want to go right under there. Yeah.
Okay. Right under here? So
right here. So the highlight is where the light is hitting your cheekbone the most.
I see. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Right there. Yeah.
All right.
And so do you see how on the left side, the way the blush hits it kind of gives me like a nice contoured shape.
Okay.
Versus here, it's like very like round and youthful and cute.
Yeah. Like kind of cartoony.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is more like adult woman because it's been contoured a little bit.
Okay. Are you attempting contour, Kim?
I think this is the same color as my skin, but it says it's blush. I had another one that looks exactly like this. I must have gotten this for free in something. I have no idea where it came from, but I had another one that says bronzer on it, but I just put some on my face and
so I looked up the difference between bronzer and blush because I know, Kay, you were asking about that.
Yes.
So
I thought they were the same thing.
Yes. Blush specifically will come in pink hues because it's to show like warmth in your skin. Bronzer specifically, and so you will only apply that on your cheeks. Bronzer is to specifically make you look tanned. And you can actually, when I used to apply bronzer on my bronzer more regularly, you can also apply bronzer like on your cheekbones, your jawline, your temples. I used to use it.
People really do like a lot, right?
Yeah, you can apply it on your neck, especially if it has like glitter or shimmer in it. You can apply it like on your neckline and like your arms just to give it that like warm, sun-kissed look.
Okay,
that's not bad.
No?
Yeah, it looks great.
It doesn't look like I have a bit of a rash?
No.
Or something?
I think that's just practice with application.
Yeah, I feel like I might have maybe gone too low.
Yeah. So you're starting to bring the blush. See how it's going past your nose crease line? So that's a little bit too low. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like here down should not be.
Yeah.
Should streak. Okay.
And this is...
I'm almost like Kim, I tend to over put more stuff on it than is needed so I can see like where the line is. I feel like this still is for me so like subtle, but I do see the difference. But I'm going to try doing what you did, Quincy, and doing the youthful look on the other side just to see. So doing this. And then
Kim, what did you do? Did you do angled or did you do?
I tried to do the angled, but
it looks great.
I don't know if you can see any of it because I also just like put a bunch on my finger and
it's the same shade.
It's like the same color as my skin. So maybe I picked the wrong. Maybe this is I got a freebie that's not.
But I also feel like as women we end up collecting tons of free makeup elsewhere because I
had to go through it. I'm like, I gotta throw this stuff away because I don't wear it, especially in the pandemic. I don't wear makeup at all. Same. Yeah, like I just put a ton of it on my hand and you really can't tell it all.
I should actually be using this mirror I have because I'm going the wrong direction.
And Kay, you can just dust it on too. You can just dust it on.
Oh, okay. That one looks, yes, more prominent.
Yeah. I think for you, I like it. I like the angled look on you.
This one? Yeah. I do feel like I did go overboard. I probably could have stopped 10 strokes or so earlier. And because here's the thing. I feel like, especially with putting the red and the color back in the face. One of my problems when I used to put on makeup was I felt like I was with the foundation and the concealer trying to take as much red out of my face as possible. And then with the blush and like the shadow and bronzer, I was putting just red back on. So
I think it's finding the right color, and like redness on your skin is different than like creating makeup is essentially like an illusion, right? Like the illusion of warmth on your skin, right?
Right.
Having putting on bronzer and making it look like you are tanner than you look is different than like, okay, I have redness or like a breakout and I'm gonna try to smooth and even that out.
Yeah, because I do feel like this right now, I don't necessarily look. I don't feel like I look like you guys. I don't feel like I look like post-coital. I feel like this is me coming inside after 5 hours of sun.
Also, by the way, I don't look like this post-coital. Let me just turn.
But maybe I need to start doing the eye and the eyebrow stuff too, because that will probably play off of this, right? Because right now it just looks like my face is foundation like light brown or whatever this color is, and then the red is just like, and then there's red here.
I think too the pink, the color of blush, it just you might want to play around with the color of blush you're using,
like a darker one, or a lighter
like
one?
a more, I mean, like yours looks more pink.
Maybe
pink one that's like a little bit
I've used one that's I've used ones that are like peach too.
Peach.
You could just play with color. This one is a very like pink color.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably deeper than mine. This one looks a little brighter.
Yeah.
A little lighter.
So it might not be the pink that you like. It might be pinky for you. There's ones that have more peaches and gold hues into it. Or if you really want to go dramatic, I don't know. What color does blush come in?
And I feel like I don't want to speak out of turn because blush is really not my strong suit. But in terms of like choosing a color, if you have like an eyeshadow palette or you have like a bunch of lipsticks or something, you could just try a little bit of a different color on your cheeks and see. That's just what I did. But like, I don't wear like usually blush, but like if I am doing like an audition or something like that and I want to put a little bit more color in my face, then I'll just be like, yeah, let's try this lipstick. That looks bad. Okay, we won't use that one again. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So you're saying it's a lot of guessing and checking and also combination of doing other things. Well, darn. It's almost a science. It's almost a science.
Like Tony Stark?
Like Tony Stark.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh, I wish it was more like magic. I could just be like, and I'm done. And
you could go to a beauty counter and they could do magic and help you.
True.
What color?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm, and this is something I've tried every now and then. I guess I always kind of go in there wanting to be like, okay, let me just find the foundation I need. And then I'm always scared after I talk to the person at the counter that they're going to be like, and you also need this and this and this, and then I'm spending like
and then you just
$60.
say, no, thank you. I don't need all that. I just needed foundation today.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but then, yeah. Okay. Yes.
You can say no, Kay. It's okay.
Yes, Kay.
It's okay to tell them no.
Yeah, it's your money, your hard-earned money.
True.
And something that's good to know is if you go somewhere like Sephora,
You can
they
return
have
it.
they have a very generous return policy.
Okay.
Which is really good because I have gone to Sephora and had somebody like this was like several years ago now, like help me find the foundation color, and it was totally wrong. So they will like I went back and I was like, hey, this color does not fit me, and the person was like, yes, totally understandable, like let's get you the right color. So
Cool. So even the counter people could steer you wrong. So again, a science, a guess and check science that to make yourself look like magic.
Yeah.
Well, good thing there's so many movies in the MCU because we'll be able to guess and check a lot. Though we do have a finishing powder, right? To
Yes.
do. I have this one. Just to let you know, just to open it. Already while it was causing me problems because it has this thing like where one side has holes. Like little holes and then you have to turn it to expose the holes.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
That's so when you travel with it. So I don't so mine is a little old school. So you'll see I have holes in mine, but you'll see all the powder has fallen out, and so it creates a mess. So that the way it's supposed to click on and off is so that when it just doesn't dump in everywhere.
So how do I get to the powder?
So you open so you open it. You can just dump a little bit. I use the lid.
Okay.
And you can just dump however. You don't need a lot. This is way too much. So I have too much in my tray. So
can you show it?
Yeah. So I couldn't control.
Oh, that has a white inside though, right? Oh, okay. I see it now.
Mine has
yeah. So you don't need a lot. Like
okay, this is how much I got.
Yeah, that might be too much, but Kay, in the spirit of overdoing it so we can correct later.
Yep.
So you're just going to get your brush and you're going to...
I'm going to use this big one, or should I use the same one I was usually... Okay.
So you're going to dip your brush in. I always like to tap it so that the extra powder can come off, but this is such a tiny...
So dipping... I dipped and then I'm tapping and then this is how much I have on it.
Great. And then you can just swoosh it on.
Swoosh.
Ooh. Do you guys ever watch those Bare Essentials infomercials?
Oh, yeah. Back when I had TV.
I so loved watching those and watching them like swirl, tap, and
yes!
And I was wow, that's incredible. I never
And then you can re-dip, Kay, like as you apply.
I feel like I have too much on this side. Oh, I feel like I had residual.
Oh, and then you
should just disappear, right?
Yeah. Then you use the brush to sweep it away.
Okay.
And so it should give you like a nice.
And you just brush it everywhere on the face.
Yeah, because it's a finishing powder. Let me get the wording right.
Should I be seeing it like in front of my eyes, like poofing up a little bit, like dust?
Oh,
like the dust settling. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the particles are so small.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's supposed to smooth and even everything out.
All right.
When you're on camera, you look smooth.
and less
absorbing oil. Yeah.
Yes,
the same with your hair. If you need to hit it on your hair, you could it'll absorb that.
Okay. Yeah. And so there's no real difference in the look. I feel like I need to stop because otherwise I'm just gonna pull the blush off. Though it does look. I feel like this side I used too much on this side. Wait, which one?
Oh, I wish I had done like half my face. I feel like for me with my powder, I feel like everything just like it's even. Like if there was any foundation I miss,
keep hitting my mic.
It's like smooth now. It's like all the same color.
Okay.
I don't know. What about you, Kim? Do you use? Oh yeah, you said you don't use finishing powder on your face.
I do. I use it every day almost on my hair, and then I'll use it. I will use it on my face for like headshots or something. But that's so rare. Can you guys hear my cat? He's so hungry. He's like, it's dinner time, and actually, it's not dinner time.
My cat's been trying to squeeze a third dinner in at night. Where she's
Are you not feeding him enough? Or
no, like she eats only as much as she wants to eat. So I know it's not like I'm not giving her enough food. But she'll come in at like 9 and be like in the kitchen being like, and trying to like lead me into the kitchen. And I'm like, no, bitch.
I really don't like being herded by my own cat. I really don't appreciate it. I'm like, excuse me, I'm in charge here. And
how's he doing? How old is he now?
He's good. I don't know how old he is. When we got him, that was 4 or 5 years ago. He was between 10 and 15. So now he's, I guess, between 14 and 19. But I personally think he's much younger than that.
Yeah. Yeah. They might have gotten it wrong. I had a friend who the inverse thing happened where she got a dog and they were like, she's 2. She'll live forever. And then the dog passed away like a year later, and it was like actually a really old dog. But it was a little dog, so like they didn't know, just old dog. Big dogs when they get old are like feel old, but little dogs don't. Yeah.
Well, my face, I feel like my face is smoothed out.
Yeah. How do you feel like, it looks all, do you feel like, it's giving you that smoothed, even look that you've been trying to achieve since we started this?
Yeah. I feel like it took some of the shine off of just having the foundation on.
And it even feels like the blush settled a little bit on you.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, it didn't make it look as shiny, as poppy. It kind of an extra layer just to like the a little filter.
I turned the filter off for honesty, but I love the filter.
I guess that's a good way to put it.
You turned the filter off? You don't have it on now? Oh, you still look so good.
Yeah,
you still look so good.
I mean, the same.
You guys also look very good.
I mean, I think I need to mess with my lighting. I think that will be something for phase 2, because I do notice how like this specific light I have, it's like very fluorescent and kind of harsh.
Wait, are you talking about phase 2 of our podcast and phase 2 of the MCU? Like,
oh shit! Yeah, I thought you guys were just talking about work shit.
Okay, I think the work shit. Brain break you've given me, one of the bigger ones.
That's crazy.
That is so like I literally like Kim. Like it just went like.
Oh my god! Oh, I wrote down a quote that I really liked that Mark Ruffalo said in the movie, which was. Referring to Loki, and he said, "That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You can smell the crazy on him." That was such a funny thing to say. Brain is a bag full of cats, and I was like, I know what that means.
You're like, that is pretty crazy. That is pretty wild.
Absolute chaos.
Well, I feel like we have smoothed out our faces. We have smoothed out the phase 1 and brought it to a epic conclusion. And thank you so much, Kim, for joining us for that experience.
My gosh. Thank you so much for having me. This was such a delight.
Yeah.
And so that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening and are watching. So Kim, where can we find you? What shows do you have coming up or other projects you would like to mention?
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, I perform monthly right now on YouTube with Asian AF with Voltron. That's an all Asian American variety show. And then I also co-host the Korean Drama Podcast, part of the Potluck Podcast Collective. That is a tongue twister, where it's a podcast about Korean dramas for people who do not watch Korean dramas. So that's
cool.
Nice.
Great.
And if you'd like to reach out to us or find out more about Marvel Makeup, you can follow us on all social media at Marvel Makeup.
Or you can email us at marvelandmakeuppod@gmail.com. Please rate and review and subscribe on wherever you find your podcasts or you see us on YouTubes.
And please give us 5 stars. But if you don't, that's okay because Kim's parents are white, so they're going to love this anyway.
Yay! Thank you, Kim.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Marvel Makeup is hosted and produced by Quincy Cho and Kay Kanapu. Quincy is an actor-writer based in Los Angeles, California. Kay is a writer-performer for Filipino AF and an alum of the CBS Diversity Sketch Showcase. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Quincy Dinosaur and at Kay Kanapu.
The music for Marvel Makeup was composed by Clarence Yap and our artwork was designed by Patty Lin. You can find them on Instagram at Clarence_Yap and at pattylin.jpg. See our show notes for even more info.
Bag of cats. Bag of cats.
Bag of cats.
Let's all act like our mind is a bag of cats.
Just me every day here.